You ever feel like your budget is just a suggestion? You put all the numbers together, you get excited, and you're like, look how much money we can save. And then at the end of the month, you're like, where did all my money go? And I actually didn't save anything at all, and I blew the whole thing up. You're not alone. But the reason that you fail at budgeting isn't because you're not trying. You're trying to stick to the budget. It's because you don't have a system in place to help keep you accountable. Hi, I'm Jacob Wade from Lunch Money. I'm a financial coach, and today I want to break down why you're not able to stick to your budget, why you blow it in the first place. And then we're going to break down 4 key strategies to help create a system of staying on track with your money so you can stick to your budget every single time. And if you stay to the end of the video, I'll show you how all of that stuff is built into the Lunch Money app, where you can connect your financial accounts, see everything that's going on, create a realistic budget, and keep yourself accountable along the way so you actually save the money you hope you can save. So let's get into it. All right, I've been a financial coach for 15 years, and there are about 4 reasons that people end up blowing the budget. Number 1 is you try to be perfect. You try to create the perfect budget for the perfect month. Spoiler alert, the perfect month does not exist. You need to be flexible. Plans change, things break and need maintenance, and unexpected costs pop up. And if you're not prepared for that, it's going to blow the budget. Number 2 is not actually tracking your spending in real time. Sometimes you'll create a budget and then you'll check in halfway through the month. How much money do I have left? And you forget to categorize things and you're not really seeing what's happening in real time. The problem is when you're not tracking your money in real time, you can't make wise spending decisions. You can't go, how much do I have left in the grocery budget? I don't know. I haven't been tracking it. So then you overspend and then you go, oh man, how did that happen? Well, you need to be tracking your spending in real time. Number 3, and this is really a big one that surprises most people, is unexpected expenses that you probably should have expected. These are non-monthly or infrequent expenses that you can actually plan for ahead of time, but you don't. And so when your cousin's wedding pops up, or Christmas comes out of nowhere, whoop, didn't know that was coming, or you have a car insurance bill that you pay every 6 months and you forgot to save for it, that is going to absolutely destroy your budget and set you way back. And number 4 is creating a budget by guessing. And most people do this, to be honest. You don't actually know how much you spend before you create that first budget. And so when you put the numbers on paper, they're more just like hopes and dreams, but they're not based on your actual life. So if you don't know what your spending habits are, you can't create a realistic budget that you can stick to. So while people blow the budget all the time because of these 4 reasons, now that you know what they are, here are some ways to fix them. So the number 1 way to fix your budget is to perform a financial audit. As a financial coach, this is the first thing I ever do with every single one of my clients. I have them actually look at their past spending, figure out where their money has been going, so they can actually create a realistic budget based on real numbers. So the way to do this is download the last 90 days of bank and credit card statements to look at your spending, categorize that spending. You can use a highlighter if you want to. Of course, we have this built into the Lunch Money app. We'll show you this stuff automatically when you connect your financial accounts. But then you need to go through and categorize and figure out, okay, I've been spending about this much in each category. So if you take 90 days of spending, divide those numbers by 3, that will give you the average monthly spending for each of those categories. Now you can create your first initial budget based on your real spending habits. Listen, habits take years to form, and when you create a budget, you're trying to change a bunch of little habits over a period of time. So again, don't worry about the perfect budget, worry about a realistic budget. Use your numbers, put those numbers down. And then the cool thing about the financial audit is it's also going to show you some spending waste that you can cut out immediately, because a lot of times there's subscriptions you didn't know about or extra spending in areas just because maybe you've been a little lazy about it, you didn't think about it, and all that stuff adds up. And when you do the financial audit, it'll show you, oh man, there is money that can be saved immediately. When I do this for people, they can typically save hundreds of dollars per month in areas that they didn't realize they were even spending in. So financial audit is powerful, gives you a realistic budget, and can help you save money immediately. All right, number 2 is to create savings buckets. Now, I have an entire video on creating digital savings buckets and how to save for future expenses. I'll put the link up here and you'll see it in the description below. But what a savings bucket is you set aside small amounts of money for a larger purchase later. Some people call this sinking funds, but the idea is you create these buckets of savings and you put a monthly amount away. So then when that expense comes up later, you have the money for it, right? We talked about things like Christmas popping up out of nowhere or your cousin's wedding. If you have those on the calendar, then you can just reverse engineer how much do I need to save by. So here's how you do it. Basically, you go, okay, I want to go on vacation in 12 months and I'm going to spend, let's say, $3,600 on this awesome vacation. Well, $3,600 divided by the 12 months it takes to get there is going to be $300 a month. Now, put $300 a month into your budget, save that money toward that vacation. So when your vacation comes up, you don't blow the budget and stick it all on the credit card and not be able to pay it off. You have $3,600 set aside. You've already created that budget amount and you've already saved the money. So when you need it, it's there. You could do the same thing for your property tax bill, or maybe you pay auto insurance every 6 months to save some money. Set aside small amounts per month, so when that insurance bill comes up, boom, you have the money for it and you won't blow the budget. So saving buckets are powerful. The cool thing about savings buckets, and what I like to do with my coaching clients, is to open up different savings accounts for each of those savings goals. So you've got Christmas, you got birthdays, maybe you have a car maintenance fund, and you've got a new cell phone fund, you've got a down payment fund. You're saving for these larger goals later, and then you can actually automate the process. You can set automatic payments. I'm going to put $100 a month toward Christmas. I'm going to put $200 a month or $300 a month toward this vacation, and it'll just automatically go into these accounts so that when you need it, the money's automatically there. So I really, really like savings buckets to help you stick to your budget. All right, number 3, you should start budgeting by when you get paid. This is called the budget by paycheck or paycheck budgeting method. Again, I have an entire video on that. You can check it out. I'll put a link up here and a link in the description below. But when you budget by paycheck, you're just budgeting the money you have until you get paid next. So the way that you do this is first you go, how much money do I have right now in my account? And when do I get paid next? So say you have $1,000 in your account and you get paid in 6 days. You need to look at the expenses over the next 6 days and go, can I make my $1,000 stretch for these expenses for the next 6 days? And then when you get paid next, you go, okay, I need this money to last 2 more weeks. So then I look at what are the bills that are due over the next 2 weeks? What are the regular daily expenses, gas and groceries, dining out, events, all of those things over the next 2 weeks, and maybe I can start setting some money aside, or I roll whatever's left over into the next paycheck period. When you budget by paycheck, you're only spending money you have and you're staying hyper aware of what you need to spend before the next paycheck arrives. So this is a great way to stay accountable to yourself and only accountable to the money you have when you get paid. And when you create this budget, what's cool about Lunch Money actually is we actually let you create a budgeting period. So you can actually create a budgeting period and your budget only shows the next 2 weeks of expenses. And so you know, okay, during this pay period, I've got these bills, these expenses, and maybe this amount of savings. And then you can roll it over to the next pay period. So we build that right into our app, but budgeting by paycheck makes sure that no dollar gets wasted and you're not worried about farther down the road expenses. You're just hyper aware of what's coming up next. All right, number 4 is to have regular check-ins with yourself or an accountability partner. Now listen, a budget is not set it and forget it. You can't just create a budget and then check in at the end of the month. How did I do? Like that's not actually budgeting, that's just reviewing your spending from the past. Now, what I recommend is to have a quick daily check-in, especially when you get started. Okay, what did I spend today? How am I doing? This takes 2 minutes. Just take a look at where your money has gone. Then you can do a weekly review. If you're married, I like to call it a budget date night or a financial date night where you actually look at your numbers. How do we do this week? What do we have coming up next week? Are there any adjustments we need to make to the budget? Even if you do this yourself, it's just good to go, okay, how are things going? Am I moving in the right direction? Did something come up? What adjustments do I need to make to try to stick to my budget so I can actually save some money? Then finally, you can do a monthly review to look at spending trends and where is money gone? And maybe I need to make some adjustments for next month's budget. But having regular check-ins with yourself or with an accountability partner or a partner is going to make the difference between sticking to your budget or looking back and going, oh, where did my money go? Oh, I guess it went here. So make sure you check in with yourself on a regular basis. All right, I told you I would show you exactly how Lunch Money helps you stick to these new strategies, and it's built right into the app. So let me just show you here. So here's an example Lunch Money budget that I put together. You can say you got your income and your bills and daily spending, savings buckets and goals. So number one is I talked about the financial audit. What the financial audit does is it allows you to budget based on realistic numbers. What's cool is if you connect your financial accounts to Lunch Money, we actually have that built in. So if I go to restaurants here, it'll actually show me the average spending over the last 3 months. So you don't have to download credit card statements or anything. You just create a budget and boom, it's right here. So I can go, oh, I should probably budget $500 for restaurants. Blah, that's a lot. And so I budgeted $300 last month. I probably went over, and I can just hit boom. It'll automatically budget for me exactly what I need for that category based on realistic numbers. Again, I can go down the line here. Transportation, I spend very little, so let's do 67. Shopping, a little more, right? See, I can go down and go, okay, let's use real numbers. You can see how far off these fake numbers were, right? So you can go through, that's the financial audit piece of it. The second part is savings buckets, right? I have an entire category here for sinking funds and major purchases. And so I can set aside money each month into those savings buckets so that when that expense comes up later, that infrequent expense, boom, the money's already there. It doesn't blow the budget. It's built right in. And then we talked about making sure you can budget by pay period. So if I pop out of the way here and we actually go to your budget settings, you can do it by calendar month, but you can also do it by custom period. And you could say, okay, every 2 weeks, I want to do my budget and I want to sync the rollover from exactly when that next paycheck is coming in. So say it's coming in on Friday. So I'll go back here. Or let's just say a Saturday. This is what it has me doing right now, but like on the 15th, let's start from here and then I hit save. And now my pay periods are all going to be bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. So now I can look at just this period. I can create a budget just for this 2-week period, right? The day after I get paid on Friday, boom, Saturday till the next Friday is taken care of. So that's the bi-weekly budget period. So I'm going to go back to monthly here real quick. But what's cool is after that, all right, there's a couple more unique things here that Lunch Money will help you do. So as you can see in this example budget, again, I've got everything set up, but what's cool is as spending comes through, it'll tell you how much you have left available. So you'll know, okay, I spend some money in utilities, maybe I don't spend it all and I've got a little bit left. So let me just go to like the last month. Again, this data is not necessarily 100%, but let me just show you as an example. So I've got an internet bill. I budgeted $50. It was only $39.99. So actually I got $10 that I can put towards savings. So I could lower the budgeted amount. Again, this is just me actively budgeting and say, let's just budget $40. Boom. Now that money can be used elsewhere and added to my left to budget category. So that's one thing. The other thing is, and you just saw it here, is some of these areas, let's say I budget $250 for groceries, but I overspent. It'll tell me quickly, immediately when I've overspent that category. So anytime you open up Lunch Money, when you're doing your weekly check-ins, for example, you could see, oh, I overspent in that category. And then finally, if you, let's just go back to this budget here, it'll actually show you, cool thing we have built in is called recurring. So you can set recurring expenses so that those are automatically built in and those transactions are going to happen. But you can go to this show suggestions area. So if you go to show suggestions, it'll actually look at a bunch of recurring things and saying, are these recurring expenses? And so for Netflix, I can go, yep, that's a monthly expense. I hit create recurring item. When does it come through? About the 16th of the month. Monthly, boom, how much? Let's budget $8 for that. And hit create. Boom. Now I have this recurring item that's automatically going to go through every single month and it's taken care of. So again, as you can see, we build in a lot of these features to make it easy. We help you audit your finances by just connecting your financial accounts. We'll show you your average spending over the last couple of months. So as you're creating the budget, it's realistic. It's based on your real numbers. And then you can create those savings buckets categories. You can see how much money is left. You can see when you're overspending as you check in on yourself. All of those things are built into the app. So this is just to show you how to stick to your budget. These are the principles that you can apply to make sure you stop blowing the budget each month. And if you want to use Lunch Money as the app to help you out with that, we'll give you a 30-day free trial. I got a link in the description below. You can sign up, connect your financial accounts, create that budget. It'll show you your average spending so you can create a realistic budget, and then you can have your weekly and daily check-ins to make sure you're staying on track. So I hope it helps you not blow the budget so much, because I know how difficult it can be. Like I said, I've been doing this for 20 years for myself. I've been coaching others for 15 years. Sticking to the budget can be a challenge, but it can be done with the proper systems in place. And now that you have a system to stick to your budget, if you want to learn how to save more money, I actually created a video here on 12 frugal tips you could follow to save money without hating your life. Check it out right here.